Hello, welcome to Movie Musters. Power Book 3 Raising Kanan Season 4 Episode 8 Recap. Street Struck Season 4, Episode 8 of Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, titled Street Stuck, introduces some significant plot twists into the mix, rehashing certain characters' fate while revealing some monumental truths behind what has already transpired. In the last episode, we saw Rak make the difficult choice of killing her mother to spare her any further pain due to her treatments. We also saw Unique come out of the woodwork to reveal himself to Rak and proclaim his plans to take over her business steadily, particularly after spending days operating from the shadows. His revival complicated matters for the Thomas family matriarch, who found herself pushed to her limits to ensure that her business did not fall behind in the wake of a huge rival resurfacing in her life. The death of two significant players shakes proceedings. We get a bombastic start to the episode as Marvin performs a hit on Quan's base of operations, taking out the drug kingpin while staging the whole thing as a robbery. Lulu and Imani spend some tender moments together, where the latter asks him to open up more about his feelings about Joyce's death. However, he states that he is not ready for that quite yet. In the meantime, B-Rilla gets flagged down by Kenyatta and Julius, who want him to take part in their plan to rob Lowell's house again. B-Rilla has no inclination to participate, but the decision may not be in his hands because they don't want him to chicken out at the last moment. At the local diner, Kanan tells Jukebox about his theory that Rak may have bribed the cops to kill Fame. She does not believe him, stating that Rak loved Fame no matter what. We finally catch up with O-Cee, who is hiding out at Unique's place with the rest of his group. Unique stops by the place where he is informed about Quan's death. The news unsettles him and worsens his mood, which has terrible consequences for O-Cee. Scared that Kanan might be onto him, O-Cee pleads with Unique to let him leave New York. However, his persistent requests only anger Unique further, who turns around and shoots him in the head. His body is subsequently dropped at a dumpster in a bag. Meanwhile, racked with worries, B-Rilla has a bad day at the studio, compelling Lulu to stop the recording session. Subsequently, he tells Lulu about his predicament with Kenyatta, which infuriates Lulu. He berates B-Rilla for not thinking through his problems and wonders how to fix the situation himself. The truth behind murder of Famous is finally revealed elsewhere. Rak and Marvin meet up with Hafiz, who finally has everything in place for the drug operation to begin. On their way out, Rak tells Marvin that she needs to talk to David Can one last time to ensure he upholds his part of the deal to the best of his ability. At the same time, Unique gets a surprise visit from Detective Garcia, who questions him about the deaths of Howard and his brother Ronnie. Garcia surmises that Unique killed them both even though he has nothing to prove his theory. Following up on his concerns, Kanan asks Snaps and Pop to reach out to their police contacts to find out if they know anything about who killed Famous. Unbeknownst to him, the married duo is involved in Famous' death and decides to meet up with the officers on their payroll, Pickett and Wiley. Marvin checks up with Early about his payments for Stefano's new gig. During the exchange, he learns that Early is behind the murder of the guy from Howard Beach who Stefano was talking about in the previous episode. It complicates matters as Marvin may be blamed for letting the situation get out of hand. While checking out O-Cee's home, Jukebox runs into his brother, who tries to make a move on her. She takes him down and asks him about O-Cee's location at gunpoint. He states that he knows nothing. Meanwhile, Rak catches up with David and tells him to hunker down and deal with his duties diligently. We then see Snaps and Pop meet up with Pickett and Wiley on a building rooftop. The truth finally comes to light that Snaps and Pop ordered Famous murder because they were worried he might spill their secrets to everyone. Marvin finds himself in a delicate situation with Stefano. Unique sits down for a chat with Phil Russo, hoping the man helps him carry out an act of vendetta against Rak for allegedly taking out Quan. However, Russo has no interest in fueling some revenge mission and tells him to focus on gathering the requisite cash. Hoping to resolve B-Rilla's circumstance, Lulu visits Kenyatta at his shop, where the latter states that he has no intention of backing away. They also goad Lulu for not having an army of his own because of his detachment from Rack's business. Marvin tells Rack about the potential chaos on their horizon because Early's cousin, Londell, killed the man attached to Stefano. She berates him and tells him to fix the problem any way he can because they are close to success for the first time in a long time. Unique arranges a meeting with Snaps and Pop, urging them to work for him, especially with Quan's death taking a toll on his business. They tell him that they need time to consider the proposal. Far from the action, Rack takes some time to sort through Joyce's belongings with Jukebox. Rack asks her niece about Kanan's mindset and whether he knows anything more about famous murder. Jukebox feigns innocence in the matter. In the meantime, Marvin dines with Stefano, updating him about Quan's murder. The New York gangster asks him if he has any more information about the Howard Beach victim. Taking a leaf from his daughter's playbook, Marvin says he knows nothing about it. Unfortunately, the subtle threat from Stefano about the fate awaiting the person responsible for the murder does not inspire much confidence in Marvin. Crystal's trip away from New York is jeopardized at the last moment. Kanan heads home to Crystal, telling her to pack up and head out of state because things are getting too heated in South Jamaica. She tells him that his rage towards his mother blinds him because she believes that Rack had nothing to do with Famous' death. However, he has other opinions on the subject. Early's cousin, Londell, finds himself on the wrong side of Marvin's plan as the man kills him. Marvin cannot gamble with the truth ever coming out because of what Stefano might do to him and his family. Elsewhere, Rack is excited to begin her business with Hafiz, while Kanan and Jukebox receive the terrible news that O-Cee's body has been found. Lulu and B-Rilla head up to their music studio to continue their work while Kenyatta and Julius keep a watch over them from their car parked on the other side of the street. Detective Garcia tries to push the buttons on Jukebox by asking her about Famous' death. However, she is unwilling to play his game and disappears in a flash. Rack receives a visit from Crystal, who tells her about Kanan's recent obsession with Famous' murder and his desperation to find the culprit. She urges Rack to take responsibility for her actions as a mother and help her son turn back from a path of destruction. Kanan and his pals stop by O-Cee's mother's house, consoling the woman for her loss. Meanwhile, Crystal unknowingly finds herself in a tricky position after she is picked up by Pickett and Wiley just as she boards a bus to leave New York. They take her in for questioning, but their plans are more than likely of an insidious nature. At the same time, Lulu unleashes his inner beast by killing Kenyatta and Julius before they can react. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching.